UFC is back for the first pay-per-view of 2025, UFC 311 live in Inglewood, California. Really good card here. No time to waste. Let's get into it. First fight of the night, we got Kevin Holland taking on Reinier de Ridder. So Holland is 26-12 with one no contest. That is 13-9 with one no contest in the UFC. 4-3 at welterweight, 9-5 one no contest at middleweight, and he did have that 180-pound catchweight versus Hamzat. This fight, though, will be at middleweight. RDR is 18-2, 1-0 in the UFC. Holland has lost 3 of his last 5, and he was finished in his last fight. RDR, on the other hand, has won 3 of his last 5. All 5 of those did not go the distance. Kevin Holland still just 32 years old. Reinier de Ridder, 34 years old. I'm going to take the over 1.5 rounds here. It's minus 185. I'm going to parlay it. I'll get to it in a little bit. Plain and simple. Both guys have hit it in 4 of their last 6 fights. That's why I'm riding with it. Take it if you want it. Looking for anything else to take? How about Kevin Holland money line plus 100? I like him as a dog here. He's fought 9 currently ranked middleweights or welterweights. RDR has not fought anyone currently ranked in the UFC. His lone win in the UFC did come over Gerald Meerschaert, but Kevin Holland also beat Gerald Meerschaert. So I like Holland here. How about Holland by finish if you're looking for something a little extra on it? Plus 130. 22 of his 26 pro wins have come by finish, including his last 7 wins. And de Ridder's been finished in both of his pro losses. And last but not least, if you like RDR, take him by finish. Plus 225. 16 of his 18 pro wins have come by finish, including his lone UFC win. And Holland has been finished 5 times, including his last loss. Next fight of the night, we got Beneil Dariush taking on Renato Moicano. So Dariush is 22-6-1. That is 16-6-1 in the UFC. Moicano is 25-1. That is 12-5 in the UFC. 5-3 at featherweight, 7-1 at lightweight, and he also lost that 160-pound catchweight to RDA. Dariush has lost 2 in a row, but he was on an 8-fight win streak before that. Moicano has won 4 straight, 3 of them coming by finish. Both of these guys, 35 years old. I'm taking money Moicano, baby, minus 170. I'm going to parlay with the over 1.5 in Kevin Holland RDR. Gets us plus 145. Love that parlay. He's won 6 straight fights at lightweight, 5 of those coming by finish. Dariush was just finished in the first round in back-to-back fights, and he's riding the momentum, baby. He can't afford to lose. We're riding with Moicano. Let's go. If you're looking for anything else to take, you got to parlay it, but I do like the over 1.5 here. It's minus 190. Dariush has hit it in 3 of his last 5, and Moicano's hit it in 4 of his last 5. Another prop I like, Moicano by finish, plus 195. 12 of his 20 wins have come by finish, including 8 of his 12 UFC wins. And Dariush has been finished in all 6 of his pro losses. Wild. If you like Dariush as the dog, though, I get it. Plus 165. He has lost 2 in a row, but they did come to the number 1 and number 2 contenders, Charles Oliveira and Arman Tsarukyan. Moicano hasn't fought anyone in the current top 10. Dariush has fought 3 of them, and he even has a win over Mateusz Gamrot, Moicano's training partner. So maybe Dariush knows the game plan here and can get it done. I don't know. Next fight of the night, we got Jiri Prochazka taking on Jamahal Hill. So Jiri is 35-1. That is 4-2 in the UFC. Jamahal Hill is 12-2 with 1 no contest. That is 5-2 with 1 no contest in the UFC. Jiri has won 3 of his last 5. Both losses in that span did come to Poatan. Hill has won 4 of his last 5, and his lone loss in that span also came to Poatan. Jiri, 32 years old. Jamahal Hill, 33 years old. I didn't know who to side with here. I'm going to take the over 1.5 rounds. It's minus 155. I'm going to parlay it. I'll get to the parlay in a little bit. But Jiri, he's hit it in 4 of his last 5 fights. Jamal's only hit it in 4 of his 9 UFC fights, but he has hit it in 2 of his last 3 fights. So maybe he can hit it again. If you guys are looking for anything else to take, a nice prop, you got to parlay it. Fight end by KO, minus 240. But 26 of Jiri's 30 pro wins have come by KO. And 7 of Hill's 12 pro wins have come by KO. That's 79% combined fights ending by KO. And both of them have been KO'd before. So a little chinny. If you like Jamal Hill, just take him by KO here, plus 215. I've already mentioned 7 of his 12 pro wins have come by KO, including 4 of his 6 UFC wins. Jiri has been KO'd 4 times, including twice in the last 14 months. But if you like Jiri, he's a dog right now, plus 100. 5 of his 6 UFC fights have come to currently ranked light heavyweights, and the lone outlier there was his title fight against the retired Glover Teixeira. So really, all of them have come against ranked guys. Hill's only fought 2 currently ranked light heavyweights in 9 UFC fights. And Yuri's got this weird, unorthodox striking style. Could catch him with something crazy, dude. You never know. Next fight of the night, co-main event for the bantamweight title, Merab Dvalishvili taking on Umar Nurmagomedov. Merab is 18-4. That is 11-2 in the UFC. Umar is 18-0, 6-0 in the UFC. Merab, though, he's won 11 straight fights, 10 of those coming by decision. Umar is undefeated, so he's obviously won 18 straight fights. Half of those, though, also gone the distance. Both of them celebrated birthdays earlier this month. Happy birthday, guys. Merab turned 33. Umar turned 29 years old. I mean, if you guys know me at all, you know I'm taking Merab Dvalishvili money line here, plus 290. I thought it would be in the plus 1 something range, plus 290. Yeah, I'm all over that. He's got 4 wins over top 15 guys right now. Umar has 1. So we're talking an experience factor here. Not to mention Merab's 4 straight wins have come over former champions. His last 4 wins, I should say, have come over former champions. He's got cardio for days. I can't pick against Merab here. We're going with Merab all day, plus 290. If you're looking for anything else to take, I do like the over 4.5 rounds. It's a hefty price, minus 280. You'd have to parlay it. Merab's hit it in both 5 rounders that he's been scheduled for in the UFC, and Umar has hit it in the lone 5 rounder he was scheduled for in the UFC. But in their 3-round fights, these guys tend to go long as well. So kind of like this one to go the distance. Speaking of, if you like Umar and you want him a little cheaper, take him by decision. Umar by decision, minus 125. Half of his pro wins have come by decision, including 3 of his last 4 wins. And Merab has lost by decision in 3 of his 4 pro losses. And it's worth noting the one other loss there was that technical submission to Ricky Simone, where all 3 rounds expired, and then they said he was subbed out in the end of the third. So really, all of his losses have gone the distance in a weird way. And last but not least, if you're riding with Merab and you want to take a method of victory with it, Merab by decision plus 325. 14 of his 18 pro wins have come by decision. And his best path to victory is really just outpacing Umar over the 5 rounds. So I like that prop a lot. Main event, we got the rematch. Islam Makhachev taking on Arman Tsarukyan. Just mentioned, rematch from April 2019. Islam won a unanimous decision, 30-27 on 2 judges' scorecards, 29-28 on the other. Islam is 26-1. That is 15-1 on the UFC. Arman is 22-3. That is 9-2 in the UFC. Islam has won 14 straight. He could tie Anderson Silva's record here with 15. 9 straight wins since their first fight. Arman has won 4 of his last 5. He's gone 9-1 since their first fight. Islam, 33 years old. Arman, still a young buck, 28 years old. I'm taking the over 2.5 rounds here. It's minus 275. I'm parlaying it with the over 1.5 in Jiri Prochazka. Jamal Hill gets us plus 124. Don't love the over 1.5 in Prochazka Hill, but I do like this one to go a little long. They did hit it in their first fight, the over 2.5. That is, Islam has hit it in 2 of his last 3, and Arman has hit it in 4 of his last 5. So I like it. If you're looking for anything else to take, parlay piece, Islam money line, man. He's already beat him once. He could do it again. Arman coming off a win over a former champ, but Islam has beaten 4 straight former champs. Not to mention he's number 1 pound for pound. I mean, seems like a no-brainer. Another prop I like is the over 4.5 rounds. Again, you have to parlay it, minus 170. Islam's only hit it in 2 of his 6 5-rounders in the UFC. And Tsarukyan has only hit it in 1 of his 2 5-rounders in the UFC. But I still think this one goes the distance. Speaking of, Islam by decision, minus 105. 5 of his 15 UFC wins have come by decision, including their first fight. Arman's only lost by decision twice. including both of his UFC losses. And last but not least, Arman Moneyline. His first fight was his UFC debut. He had the wrestling to keep it interesting. He took Islam down in the first fight. Anything could happen.
I'm worth 100,000 like Woodrow. When a ball call me Wilson, going overboard at the Hilton.